Animation Lab. We are currently on weeks 11 and 12. We're closing in on the finale of this sort of introductory course to character animation. It's been a very long journey, a lot of weeks, but it's been a lot of fun as well. So I hope you've been enjoying it. Every folder's on the wrong screen. So I hope you've been enjoying it, and let's just get started with this second to last week, or technically the last week, where we're just going to be taking a look at the exercises and work that people were doing last time, and moving and hopefully proceeding on into something else, something more developed, and working a little bit on it. Today might be a bit of a shorter session because of that. There won't be as much to talk about. There won't be a dedicated exercise. Just going to be a little recap, a little conversation. And yeah, so let's get started. Before we get to it specifically, let's do a quick introduction to ToonCamp. We're a community of animators focused on helping everyone go from idea to finished project, where you can find lots of free classes, events, and workshops, some of which are limited to supporting members. ToonCamp is part of ToonCamp, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that provides free and low-cost classes to help you master life skills to reach your life goals. Classes are always coming soon for free and for supporting members, so feel free to drop by all the many camps that there exist and say hi and check out what they're doing. I believe some of these classes are coming up. Some of them have already happened. Soon we're going to get some screenwriting and general writing classes with Connor. Tomorrow the protagonist, subplots for movies, and the screenwriting feature, 8 weeks of class, the intense one. Also, TV pilot bootcamp. On the other hand, focused more on novel writing or literary writing, you have the query letter masterclass, editing manuscripts, writing a novel in 12 weeks, and outlining a novel. All of these coming up during February or March. So what's new? I still haven't fixed the text color, and yeah, all these many things are going to keep happening. Specifically new, Queers Writers Group and Women's Writers Group happening on Sundays 9 and 10 either AM or PM America time. I actually do not know, but it's either one or the other. They happen exactly one after the other. And the Beginners Coding Camp happening on Sundays at 12 PM America time. So how can you help ToonCamp? Donate, become a supporting member, and get access to all boot camps and labs. Or volunteer if you know a skill or a language you'd like to teach. Contact Nacho. Alternatively, refer to your friends, and you both will get a free month of unlimited Arc Studio Pro, which I believe is a screenwriting software. So, Animation Lab. Let's do a quick recap. This is the finale, so how's your progress on the exercises, questions and difficulties, and hopefully how it's going so far, so we can have a look at it. Any animation experiments outside of it, any difficulties using your designated animation software or with animating in general, and any short clips you'd like to share with the group for discussion. As per usual, Mesh has provided not one, but two clips. He's an exercise and the and a short clip from an anime, I believe. And as per not so usual, I actually have provided a lot of stuff as well. Although it's not technically animation yet, it is soon to be. I'm just gonna have to look for it in my folders. So while I'm at it, do feel free. You have the floor, both of you. Anything you'd like to say or talk about?
Um, well, so if for my exercise, I I chose another like last week. I chose a gorillas character. This time a different character, and I since I didn't actually do that much animation. The animation is fairly short, but I guess I watched a lot of music videos of the gorillas to sort of figure out like what was the appeal, like what was appealing about this character, or like what this like kind of like the personality of this character, and try to capture that quickly in just a short animation. Uh, so since we were focusing on appeal this week and sort of bringing some things together, I guess that was kind of what I tried to find here.
Definitely. I think you have really good keys here. I think you have a really, really solid little exercise. Could you like describe a little bit like what's happening here with the like is he holding on to something?
So yeah, I'm actually not. I didn't really. Yeah, I guess he's holding on to something. I saw, like, I saw a. I'm not sure if it was an official Gorillas art or it was a fan art, but I saw a picture of this character just sort of like leaning back and like his arm was going off the edge of the page. So I don't know if what he was holding on to, but I just thought that was it would be nice to animate that, or to get him into that position where he's leaning back and smiling. Uh, so yeah, I guess I was assuming he's holding on to something that's off. That I guess I didn't actually draw what he's holding, but because the gorilla's hands are like a whole other thing, like
Oh,
the way
definitely.
their hands are drawn. So I didn't want to um, spend too much time on that. So yeah.
Definitely. All right. I think you have some solid keys here. I think you have some solid animation happening here. As in, like, this is a great start.
Thank you.
The poses are really, really clean. They flow really well. You have like a nice little S curve in the way he moves his head. I think that's nice. Might want to think, you're already kind of doing it, but might want to think about like how the arm, the right arm is going to flow with the rest of the body. If the right like is it like pocketed in the like is the hand in the pocket? Is it just like kind of holding on to something as well? Is it just going to be dangling something like that?
Mm.
All these are like little options here for this arm, and the way it's going to um, because this arm feels very light right now, as in like it's not holding on to something, it's not applying pressure, it's not applying tension.
Mm.
So it feels like something that would follow the motion rather than lead it, you know?
Mm.
Which means it would be a little bit of secondary motion you could do here, just to add a little bit of the secondary action. No, follow through. My bad. A little bit of follow through that you could add over here, just for that little bit of interest.
Yeah.
This arm is really interesting. I really like the way that it goes from like, yeah, there's like this moment where it stretches out completely, right? Where it's like at first it's not completely, but then it's like really stretched. It's really holding on, and I think that's working really well. Then there's going to be the smile, right? Exactly. You're already doing you're already doing in betweening, or rather like in between keys. The way this is often the way that like manga Japanese productions nowadays, and even
Mm,
in Western productions as well, do for these moments where like the in betweening is obvious, but there are like certain elements that need to be in between with more care. You just do the elements that need that help, that need that little extra bit.
mm,
Al- Although you probably could consider not freeze framing the character here, not holding the position.
mm.
Because I feel like if you're just going to hold the position, the mouth moving is going to feel a little weird on its own. Maybe like have
Yeah,
him tilt his head a little bit to the side, something like that, just to make sure that something's happening, other than just the
yeah,
smile.
yeah.
Other than that, like this is looking really good. I really love the keys. I really love the vibe of this. It's really chill.
Yeah. Thank you.
And yeah, like really good draftsmanship as well. Like, did you find the character sheets for this?
No, I just sort of collected a bunch of
Okay.
images. Yeah, from like from their yeah, like the illustrations and stuff. Um, yeah, and it's actually well, yeah, it's actually kind of a mix. So, well, this character, I guess, has evolved over the years. Like the very first music videos to the ones now, like the character looked really different. So this is actually kind of a mix of like the more recent ones with kind of like the ones from like 5 or 6 years ago or something like that.
All
Uh,
right. All right.
so that's yeah, I don't know.
All right. Cool shit though. Really, really cool. Like it feels completely gorillas, so I think you're absolutely nailing it.
Nice, thank you. And yeah, thank you for that feedback. I think I definitely think you're right about the freeze frame at the end. Like, yeah, there probably should be something going on other than just his mouth moving. And yeah, actually, that what you were saying about his arm that's closest to the camera, that was useful as well. Because yeah, because now I am noticing it more. Like it's sort of like it's yeah, it's just it could maybe follow his lean a little bit better.
No, but like overall, it's really good. You're gonna have a fun time with the hair.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was like the
Let me
hard.
let me see it
I
here.
don't think I quite got it right, but
All right. So those three are gonna be the ones on the. So are you gonna do these three becoming these three,
that, I guess yeah. I mean that yeah. I mean when I was looking at
and then these
pictures of
ones
him, like
here go
it's mostly
away,
to one side. So yeah. So
and these ones here
like
need to go away, and these ones down here are going to become these, and then these are going to appear as the turn happens. Like this is the kind of stuff when you're doing hair that you really gotta consider when you're doing like spiky stuff.
yeah.
Consider which hair bits are gonna turn into what other hair bits. Okay, you were consistent. That's three on the bottom and three on the top. Yeah, it's fine. Good call on keeping these consistent, at least the number of them, although the shape is a little changed.
Yeah.
This is the situation where you might want to take the frame you consider to have the best hair and like copy paste. The
Mm.
head's not moving that much, you know, so you can afford to do that. Here, I think it looks really good. You got 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, that's fine. Those are still there. Yeah, okay, everything is here. I think like you're gonna have to think a little bit going from this to this, but from here all the way to the end, it's pretty simple, and I think you'll get it pretty easily.
Mm.
Don't be dumb like I was when I did a turnaround like this with hair. I still have the clip. I mean, the clip works, but it was it's messy and it's very much not easy to clean up. But yeah, very very good. And honestly, I gotta say, you've been here pretty much since the start. And
Yeah.
while I feel like you'd have picked up on a lot of stuff on your own, just like from animating on your own, I can definitely feel like there were things in which you improved from the beginning. And like
Yeah.
I'm really happy about that.
Yeah. No, I definitely, I mean, I'm thinking back to when I was doing like the bouncing ball and how kind of messed up some of my first attempts at those things were. And um, yeah, this has been, I mean, and like getting feedback from you and on, and also, yeah, just learning the different principles and just trying to, one at a time, try to focus on each one. I think it helped a lot. And yeah, so I appreciate that you feel like I have improved since then.
Definitely do. Definitely do. So you also provided
Yeah.
two other clips. Unless Nance wants to say something. Apologies. Or you want to say
Nope, I
something
just said
else.
great job.
Thank you.
Alright. In that case, you also provided two other clips. One from the Owl House.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought this had like Owl House is a TV show, so I thought it had fairly I mean good animation, but like not like feature quality, but like
Oh,
still really appealing. Like I guess.
oh no! Like this
Well,
clip
yeah,
that you picked up is
yeah,
definitely high quality animation.
yeah. No, no, fair enough. Yeah, yeah. I guess yeah, yeah. I guess that's probably that what I said wasn't really accurate. I guess it was more like I don't know. There's like little things in here that I thought were appealing, especially. So there's just something about the way he opens his eyes in some parts, like right there, like,
Uh huh.
and also later on where he blinks here, and yeah, I don't know. Something about that is just really. I think that had a lot of appeal, just the way he's opening his eye. Uh,
Let's go through it. It's squashing and stretching. Or in a way, it's like overshooting. Come on. Okay. Okay, we're there. See how it goes beyond and then it like closes in? That really
mm,
gives it the feeling of like suddenly open eyeing, which is like that very dramatic thing he's trying to do. It's a very interesting way to do opening of the eyes. And here's a different one. See, very very dramatic opening, and then it like tapers down into the actual eye position, which is this. And there's definitely a lot going on here. This is I don't remember the Owl House being this well animated.
Yeah, this was, I believe, I haven't really watched the show, but this clip and like, I took a small part of the clip, but the rest of this clip was being posted a lot on YouTube and stuff, and basically I think this is the season 4 finale, and
Okay.
this really cool Australian animator named Tom Barkell. He apparently animated this scene.
All right. This is also I want to note a thing right now. Because we're gonna be doing this. This character is animated on twos, and the other character is also animated on twos. He moves. Well, this one's just being held right now. Okay, here he's actually being animated on ones. And now that one acts. Now this one moves. That one acts. This one moves. That one moves.
Oh.
This is a technique that you see often enough, where you stagger multiple elements of animation happening at the same time. So you have he moves. Now he moves. He moves. He moves. The one behind. You actually hold. Now both move at the same time because the keys just align that way. And now he moves. And now this guy moves.
Mm.
He moves.
Yeah.
That guy moves. He moves. That guy moves. And this is a way that fills in. So what would happen if they weren't staggered? Especially considering that there are very subtle camera movements here, would be that it would feel like I'm gonna repeat staggered, but it would feel like the animation would be stuttering a little bit. Because the screen would move, and then the action would change for both, and then the screen would move and the action would change. The fact that they are happening, that they are crossing each other, that they're staggered, so we get A, then B, then A, then B, then A, then B, makes it so that every frame something's happening. And because something's happening every frame, you're always registering change. And the different things, the different actions never feel like they lack in flow. Okay, let's go back to this point. Feels very, very fluid. I did a similar exercise to this at some point, which was a very, very simple raining thing with a man. I can find it real quick. Okay, this, and it's this clip. Where it's this clip right here, I believe. Is it this clip? I don't think it's this clip. When did I do it? I don't remember. It was I think I still think it was that, but I don't think it was quite working out the way that I wanted it to. Or at least being clear. Because if I have everything happening at the same time, then there's going to be this one moment where everything changes. And that's going to feel big. Because everything's happening at the same time. And then there's like this one frame where nothing happens. That's what's gonna create the stutter. It's like boom nothing, boom nothing, boom nothing, right? Because it's like little. You're always like registering, and it feels a lot smoother. I believe like the rains were like on threes or something, and the animation of the body was like also on threes, and they were like staggered in such a way. Right. I know what it was. It was in the rain clip. I close it now. The thing was, I was animating the body like on threes or fours, like very very slow, except for like some moments, which was quicker. And the rains were happening like there were like three layers of rain happening on threes each, all like
Mm.
phased by one frame from each other, something like that. So because all of that was happening, you were never like able to properly register that like that they were being held in some frames. It was always changing. It felt like it was like blasting rain, and the body and the actions were like feeling a lot smoother than they would be if there weren't if these effects weren't being used in this way, basically.
Mm. Gotcha.
And it's exactly what's being used here to great effect as well when these things are happening. When you're getting like the little fly around and everything.
Yeah.
As for the appeal, yeah, you were talking about the eyes, definitely. The way that he opens his eyes. Look at how he opens his eyes here. Small, really big, small again. Feels bouncy. Like he's just bouncily opening his eyes. Or looking up. Even in the looking up motion, you get these squashes and these stretches, right? He's just looking up, but you get the squash and the stretch, and the iris changing size and everything. There's a lot of character in how like all this is being put together. Definitely a lot of like care and attention. Like this is very very well animated. This is definitely not like stock standard animation.
Yeah.
Like well, what's the show? Like there's some Cartoon Network stuff that like the Green in the City, something like that. Green in the Big City. Big City Greens. That's it. It's Big City Greens. It's a different show. It's this show that, at least from my memory, tends to have a lot more limited animation where like things are just a lot like less handcrafted. You get a lot of like these moments where
Mm.
not a lot is happening. Um, it feels a lot more like vector animation.
Yeah.
It feels a lot more like fast produced, you know. Whereas this is like everything here is like done with care. Like every frame, this is clear that every frame was hand drawn.
Mm.
It's actually like quite insane how even like the change in perspective when he raises his torso is understandable. Did you see
Mm.
how he goes from
Yeah.
this to this? Like even that little detail, they're not keeping the torso still. They aren't even keeping the trousers still. There's a lot of care being put into this. It's it's definitely like very very high quality.
Yeah.
Is there anything that either of you would like to say that would like to add about this?
Oh, that was a really great breakdown, and yeah, the staggering of the frames of the two characters was something I probably wouldn't have noticed until you pointed it out for sure. But it does make a difference.
Also do also just noticing it now, even in like how he moves his hair. Like this bit of hair and this also here
Mm.
are having such interesting follow through animation. Like very very subtle, right? Very very subtle. But it just adds to it. Just tick. It's just a few frames.
It kind of swings. It's
Yeah.
secondary.
Yeah, it's follow through. And it stretches and it squashes. It's squash and stretch being applied to like everything. It's really, really interesting. So the other one, is it Fuliculi?
Yes.
I have
Uh,
actually never watched this. This is
okay.
intense.
So well, not all of the show is like this, but sometimes it switches to this kind of very chaotic animation. And I was thinking of something that actually Vintage said last week about how sometimes really stupid things can be appealing in their own way, like something that's really, I don't know, like maybe kind of break some of the rules of animation or like what you would expect from like good animation, but like it's still appealing. And I thought this clip was a good example of that. It's like there's just like a lot of just like parts that just sort of loop and but yeah, I don't know,
And
but
somehow
you
it works.
yeah, like you can't like take your eyes off of it. It just and it's funny, I guess, to watch as well.
Absolutely. You just have like that little break moment where he's like, wait, what's happening? And then he's like, ah, I gotta shoot again.
I love the color scheme. Oh.
Definitely, too.
Yeah.
It's almost hard to like understand like what the models of the characters are. Like this is the kind of stuff that makes me want to know like how did we get to this? Like where did the story go to end up on this kind of scene?
Yeah,
It's really
and
really interesting.
yeah, like they're actually sort of play fighting. I guess they're using. I mean, even though it looks like there's actually like bullet shells coming out, apparently they're just using like BB guns
Oh,
in
okay.
in the story. So, but then like someone with a real gun shows up at like there's only like a couple of frames at the end, but then yeah, that's uh, but yeah, but like in this show, there's other parts that are like extremely smoothly animated. Like they animate 360-degree turnarounds like perfectly and stuff, and sometimes and so just like the way it switches back and forth to different kinds of animation is
Yeah.
interesting.
That is definitely a way that this is definitely really interesting. It's like also like the little camera shakes. Let's go through this frame by frame. I want to see what's happening here. It's also being animated on twos. Oh, it's actually a moment of threes. Yeah, and it's just looping. It's exactly what you were saying. These frames are amazing. Oh, and these ones are actually animated on ones. Like they're looping, but they're looping on ones. But they're actually not looping together. Interesting. So the one that's closest to us has 3 frames in his loop. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The other one has more. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's two loops. This one's on 3. This one repeats every third frame. This one repeats every fifth frame.
Hmm.
And the red cartridges are doing the same, and the orange cartridges are doing the same as well. These ones repeat every 3. These ones repeat every 5. I like how the smoke is just like standing here. Doesn't even move. This is so dramatic. It's like if you were to add like motion here, it just wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, they're just still looping. Suddenly there's the explosion, but they're still going at it. The loops continue. Another big one. He's like, wait, and this is like a little brief moment of stopping. And then he continues. This is really, really neat. Yeah, it's like it's dumb. It really is just dumb fun, and it works. It really does make me want to know, like, how did we get here? It's really, really interesting. Oh my god. So yeah, you wanted me to like talk a little bit about the appeal and like the the dumb of it. And it's like, yeah, it is. It is kind of dumb. It's really fun though.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's yeah, I think it's sort of what you said last time is like, you have the 12 principles, or you have all the other principles, but like once you know them, you can kind of break them, for if you want to, sometimes appeal maybe you like doesn't always follow the rules or something. Like, you said something like
Yeah,
that. I can't
yeah,
remember exactly how you
absolutely.
worded it.
Like,
Yeah.
but this is an example of the kind of stuff that like this is the kind of stuff that it looks dumb, and okay, like some of these sequences are actually not that hard, but like this running sequence is hard to do. These two running sequences are not easy to do. Like you actually need to know very well what you're doing to pull these two off. Like these ones are a little bit less, but like these kinds of shots are also deceptively difficult because it's exactly that. It's like you go beyond the order. You have the principles, you establish the principles and the rules and how animation works, and then you can break them, right? But these are deceptively difficult because they do require you to like really be on like the top of your game. Some of these shots, even though they're like silly and ridiculous, and even like loops in a way. It's really, really fun. All
I
right.
guess it's sort of like, oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, it's sort of like you. There's so few frames that it's like you have to know exactly what to put in them, because if you don't put enough frames, it doesn't that the motion doesn't read, and if you put too many, I guess it's kind of loses that
The
snappiness.
intensity. Yeah.
Yeah.
The snappiness and the intensity. That's definitely true. Alright. This is really dumb fun. I love it. In that case, here's my thing as well. So, I've actually not been working on the exercise because I've been working on other things. I've been getting started, and from here on out, um, I we're gonna talk about this at the end of the group about how Animation Lab's going to continue, how it's going to change, because after because already like next session is going to be to present the exercises, talk a little bit about them, and then move on with the new format. So so what are we going to be talking about here? Uh, so yeah, like, so I didn't bring strictly animation. What I brought are is a character sheet that's not even finished yet. I'm gonna have to do the turnarounds. I'm gonna have to do a lot of stuff, and a couple of storyboards that I've been working on for a short that I'm also working on currently. And because I'm biased of my own work, it would be cool if y'all could have a look at it as well and say your thoughts. I can pass by it. Characters are mostly not drawn in these white shots. That's something I'm gonna do when I do animatic. But I have them more or less in mind. So feel free to like read what's happening. Some scenes aren't even like fully written yet, or fully aborted yet. I can also do this. This is a short that's called Sansaika, and I've been writing it. This is Rita, the Rita that's mentioned here. And now it's just sketches. The script is also included in my post if you want to like have a look at the entire story. And this is as much as I've done so far. So, if any of you want to say something, do feel free.
Cool. How did you get your idea? I mean, how do you start with your idea? I mean,
It's been it's been a bit of a journey. I mean, most of my ideas have been a bit of a journey.
hmm
It started like my old characters, and I ultimately decided to make a different thing out of it.
hmm
Then I was kind of mumbling around with the story, trying to figure out what I wanted, what I didn't. Eventually, I did the main character, Rita, in a context of a different universe, like the Made in Abyss fan universe thing that I've done for Rita before. And I felt like I nailed something really interesting with the story there. And then I tried to like transpose it into the main like actual story for her. And I figured out that there was a way to do it, and that way to do it would be through the ocean and through the sea. And so the world came along, and then it was just applying the story that I figured out, and the feelings that I figured that I managed to make work
hmm
in one of them to this, and then add a little
Cool.
twist at the end that you're only going to see if you actually read the script. Because the storyboard's not there yet.
Yeah, um, I I really like the how you in the first page you sort of established the lighting Um, and then in the other the next pages, you sort of have more of that like an ink.
Oh yeah, these are.
So,
I
yeah.
just haven't cleaned them up yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So okay. Well. I mean, I guess you've already established the lighting from the beginning. But yeah. But yeah. Actually, this page, as I was following along, I kind of missed kind of the line of action here because I guess I wasn't sure like so the second frame I wasn't sure kind of where it was looking in relation to
Okay.
Rita and I guess it became more clear when the second character came. So I guess like the second character shows up on her right,
Yeah,
I
she's gonna
guess,
show
and
up here,
okay,
and she's gonna walk this way. That's the
she's
footsteps
walking
of
that way.
Rita.
Okay, okay, so she'll be in the frame
Yeah,
walking.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
The many things I haven't like completely finished here yet.
okay. So yeah, I guess I guess it just wasn't clear like where we were looking, but I mean, I guess it becomes clear, um, and then yeah, is the box? Are we supposed to know what the box is by this point? Because I guess it's I guess maybe it's like someone's ashes or something, or I don't I don't know what.
It's a lantern.
It's a lantern.
It's
Oh,
a
okay.
paper lantern.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, so it's that thing. Okay,
That's why it's emitting light.
so it's okay. That actually completely changes the way I see this scene. So it's so that will just be light and like
Yeah,
uh
yeah. It'll be
right
mostly
like
it'll be like dim kind of orangish light.
orange. Oh, okay, gotcha. Because I guess yeah, because that'll be interesting, especially that in this page, the first frame, because it's like almost a quarter of the screen is taken up by the lamp. Uh, so I guess just thinking about like the lighting contrast between the lamp and um, the rest of it. Uh, it'll be interesting. I'm sure in your head it's like the way it is in your head is probably it's gonna work,
I hope
but
so.
but yeah, I'm just like imagining because like in real life you would probably be thinking about if this were a live action movie like you would probably be thinking about okay well you don't want the lamp or like you have to like change the settings on the camera to make sure that the lamp doesn't blow out the rest of the or like the lamp doesn't blow out compared to the background and yeah but I don't know that's
Wait a
probably
second.
but
It's this kind of stuff.
okay
Oh,
gotcha yeah okay
a paper lantern.
Yeah, it's a paper
Okay.
lantern.
paper lantern okay
It's going to be dim on its
uh
own. It's just going to be a little light in there.
does it represents a person I mean I'm assuming that's like she meant like when you say she said like let's say farewell to him together it's like that's like a cultural thing of like setting out these lanterns to sea or something like that or right
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, if as I said, it's in the script. This is the
oh,
story
okay
of this young girl, Tita,
okay yeah
grieving the death of her older brother at sea, basically.
uh,
And there's a bit more to it than at the end, but yeah.
hmm. These vertical things are those like that's part of the docks?
Yeah, that's
Okay, I
part
see.
of the
Yeah.
dock.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, things I'll have to like go through and like fix and whatever.
Yeah. So I think that's actually a great compositional element to have those because it kind of like breaks up the frame and also creates some depth and yeah yeah I actually like the way you framed it with them in between the two poles.
Thanks.
I think
Yeah,
that I think that works. Yeah.
this has been an adventure. Like finding a way to like make this work has definitely been an adventure. But I'm very much
Yeah.
enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, I like also that you included all the sound. You know, you said that there's like wood creaking and stuff. Like, I think that'll be really cool, atmospheric, sound design when it's done. You know, maybe the sound of the water and the wood creaking and all that. And yeah,
Yeah, long way there. Long way there.
yeah, yeah. That's like at the very end, probably.
No. The sound's not gonna be at the very end,
Okay. Hmm.
but it's still a long way there.
Yeah.
I was talking
But yeah, it's
to.
really cool.
I mentioned
Oh,
that
go ahead, sir.
I'm hoping to get the boards finished by the end of February. It is what it is. We'll see. But yeah. Other than that, I've got nothing else to say. I mean, we've gone over everything at this point. So I'm just going to do the 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 explanation then. So from here on out, I believe I'm not sure if I've done it already, but from here on out, Animation Lab is going to continue and it's going to be weekly. It is no longer going to be streamed, and or at least I'll try not to, because I don't think that'll make any sense here on out. And it won't be formal as it has been so far. It won't have formal lessons, and instead it'll be more focused on the personal projects that each one of us might be developing, and peer discussion and development of how we can go about like making our projects the best we can. If there's any questions about anything at that point, from character design to storyboarding to even script writing, though there's ToonCamp for that if you want that. Layout, art, color keying, um, keyframing, like all the many different things that are part of the process, or even just of the process itself. You can always present those questions, and we can always talk about those kinds of things. You can bring your storyboards, you can bring your animatics, you can bring your unfinished animations. You'll be able to bring anything you want. If there is no topic, there'll probably be some short animation exercises, or at least some animation exercises. They may not be short, and they will not be mandatory, or they will not be tied to any specific course in a way. So to recap from here on out, next session we're going to go over the final exercises for this introduction to character animation course, mini course, whatever. And then we're going to get started with a new format, which instead of being structured with like class structure and having specific theoretical elements and all that kind of stuff, it'll be a lot more akin to a group meeting where we can discuss what we're doing, what we'd like, what we're aiming for, and collectively try to improve each other's work as best as we can. If there's nothing else to talk about and no one brought anything, then we might as well just do a little bit of an exercise, and that's where we'll get some prompts, maybe some animation prompts, maybe some sketch prompts. We'll see what the prompts may be. I am still considering. Right now I'm thinking of animation prompts first, but we'll see where we get to that, where we get with that. And because of this lack of formality as well, the groups may start to be a little bit shorter. And because of this lack of formality and the change from a purely or mostly educational structure to a peer group review structure, is also going to mean that it doesn't make sense for it to be streamed anymore. So we'll be on our own pretty much here in the Discord. And yeah, those are the changes that I'm planning on on having for Animation Lab. Eventually, we might come back with the animation course, or we might try to do something about how to make a short from start to finish. Though I'd like to finish mine before I do that.
That would be a great idea.
And yeah, so these are the coming plans for Animation Lab. I hope these are still enjoyable. I hope these are still interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
and yeah, if
And you
you
said
have
it's you said it's still weekly. Oh, I'm sorry. You said it's still weekly or the
yeah,
same
yeah, yeah.
time or okay.
It'll probably start being at half an hour after
Okay.
the hour that it currently is right now,
Mm-hmm.
because I've had to delay it by half an hour so many times at this point that like might as well just embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those are the changes coming to Animation Lab. I'll have like a proper PowerPoint explaining that next time, and from there on out there will be no more PowerPoint. So thank you for coming. Today's going to be a bit of a shorter session. Vintage said he'd come, but he hasn't come yet, so we're probably going to cut it here because I'm tired. I've been awake since 7 and it's half past midnight.
Oh boy, it's a long day.
And I
Oh,
need to wake up at
yeah.
7 again. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep.
All right.
Unless there's
Good. Sounds
anything
good.
else to
Did,
say.
did did you say we should be bringing anything with us to the next session, or
The
is it just
finished
sort of like you're?
exercises. The finished exercises. And if there's anything
Oh,
else
okay.
you'd like to
Oh,
show, then feel free to bring it as well.
gotcha.
So yeah, thank you
Okay.
for coming. I'm really
All
glad to
right.
have had you all here for this
Yeah.
from beginning to end.
Yeah, thank you, Beatrice.
Yeah.
We made it. I think Nance, you were here in the beginning too, right?
Nance
So
Yeah.
was
I
here from the
so so
beginning too.
we
You and
we did
Mesh,
it. We got
Nance
we
and
all
Mesh
we
were
got
the
through the 12
veterans.
weeks. Yeah.
Right.
It was more than 12. It was
Well,
definitely
Yeah.
more
yeah,
than
So,
12.
yeah. Oh, yeah. There was the extra one, and there were a couple
And
of extra. Yeah,
then there were the couple ones on Christmas and some weird
yeah.
stuff happening. But
But
yeah.
yeah, no, it's been great, Beatrice. I mean, it really cool idea for when this I mean this is like you sort of created the tone for what ToonCamp is through this class. I mean, this
I
so
sort of
uh,
created the tone for ToonCamp because I'm the only one here.
yeah. I mean that's basically so. I mean, honestly, it was like a really great uh, like a great way to set that in motion and just sort of and you've managed to make a very supportive environment for all of us, and so yeah, so thank you for this and for everything you've taught us.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah. Second that. Second that.
Yeah.
glad
Yeah.
you all think so. So yeah, have a good night, everyone,
Okay. See you next week.
Yep.
Have a great
and see
week.
you next
Yep.
week.
Have a good
All right.
night.
Have a good week.
Night.
Yep.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye, Nance.
And
Oh, vintage.
oh, Vintage arrived.
Oh
I
man.
suppose we can make a quick exception. Welcome, Vintage. Hello.
Just in
we
time.
we li- we're literally about to end, but no, it's cool that you.
I was about to just do the legalities, to go check script camp and film camp and both
Oh yeah.
camps because new stuff. Yeah, today's been a bit of a more informal thing. We're just checking up on how the exercises have been going, and we went through 2 clips that Mesh gave provided, and we went through a little storyboard that I'm currently working on. It's for the short that I actually gave you to read some time ago.
Nice, nice.
I
Oh, can I
bought.
see it?
Yeah, yeah. It's in a 10-second clips, even though it's not a 10-second clip. um, I have a bunch more boards ready. I just need to like organize them and then clean them up and all that. But yeah, some stuff I definitely need to clean up, reconsider. There's a lot of things there to go on, but it's been a journey. And on your ends, do you have the exercise or at least the beginnings of it?
I do, yeah.
Feel free to
Show.
show it.
Ooh.
So hopefully you can see.
Oh, okay, you're streaming it. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Why? Oh, in the 10-second clips.
Yeah. Okay, I got it though.
All right. Yeah, this is what. So far, it's still very rough and all that kind of stuff. I'm just kind of putting in the keyframes. Um, but basically, the idea here is this is a original like character or whatever, and it's like the intro sequence. So in a way, I'm taking some inspiration from like Danny Phantom,
Oh
just for
wow.
like the idea of how this will work. But so far, we'll start with the shot, and I'll explain this as I go back around in a second. Again, we're gonna have another character walking up here, and then they also have like a monster appear from behind them. Uh, all right, so the idea is we're starting with the main character, and we're gonna like pan around them and see way more. Second, way too busy here. I don't know if that. All right. Starting with main character, pan around him. Then he's looking at a bunch of other characters. They're just conversing, and then this character has the power to like see uh, like the aura of other people and stuff like that. So like that's what those like monsters are behind them. And then we're gonna like pan in with the camera, and there's gonna be another character that just kind of walks in from the background there, and that character has like a really strong aura. So that little cloud around them is gonna be some other type of monster, and then that's like the halfway point or whatever, where then we zoom out from have that character pull out, and then like have like one of those zoom outs from the reflection of the person's eye, and then it's going to be our main character again, and he has his own aura. If you know Kingdom Hearts, if you remember like Dark Sora, um, something like that, it just kind of reflects him, but it is his aura is not like a scary monster like the rest of the people who have like a strong aura about them. So
Wow. Okay. Okay. No, there's a lot of cool stuff. That's a lot of cool stuff.
thank you.
Yeah, I mean it definitely has the feel of one of those like a you said Danny Phantom, but I mean like yeah, it has the feel of those cartoons for that age group where you're sort of introducing all the characters and the heroes' powers and stuff just visually. Um, yeah, really cool.
Thank you.
Definitely.
So I'm
This.
taking this opportunity, like you said, to like do like an OC, introduce a new character here. So
Right.
Mm. Yeah. Does this character have a name yet?
I'm just calling him Tenji, Tenji.
Tenji.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to
Nice.
figure out the
Nice.
character. I was thinking about doing like characters. I don't know what. I don't know what his like. I don't really care about like ethnicity and like race and stuff like that. And the characters, like some people like make that like a focal point. For me, it's just like an afterthought. I'm like, okay, here's a cool character, and here's the story. Oh yeah, and this character's black or like Hispanic or Asian or whatever. And so I'm gonna do something like that. But just switching the name. So like, you know, this kid probably like I don't know, white or Jewish or something, but he's got the name Tenji. Someone else will have like an African name, but be like Hispanic or white or something. So
Oh.
Okay, that seems
Yeah.
interesting.
I like his expression here. Like you can
Confusion.
sort of already tell what kind of character. Like I guess you could tell he sort of has an innocence to him. Like he's sort like he sees everyone's like dark auras or whatever, and he's just sort of like he's not afraid of it, but he's sort of just figuring it out. I guess he's sort of like I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a cool. Just yeah, just even through the just his expression, you can sort of read a little bit about his personality.
thank you, thank you. I'm
Definitely.
trying. I'm going for that, so I'm glad that it comes through.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So, as as I was saying before Vintage joined, I'm just going to recap this once for you, Vintage. Next meeting, and from here on out, they're all going to happen half an hour after the current time. So, to me, they're at 11. They're gonna start being at 11:30. And besides next group where we're going to be bringing, well, you and Mesh primarily and Nance as well are going to be bringing the exercises as finalized as you can. These last ones, the group's going to change in nature. It's no longer going to be about focusing on one fundamental at a time and going over classes and the theory and everything. And instead, it's going to be about supporting in personal projects and ideas. And so ideally, what you'll be bringing in, you can definitely bring in clips still from shows. You can definitely bring in like interesting stuff that you found. But what you may be interested in bringing as well is your personal projects, your ideas, and the stage of production they're at, so that we can all collectively like talk about it and develop and see if we can get something even better from this collaborative kind of work. So yeah, so the relation the thing is going to change a little bit, and it's going to become a lot more about the peer reviewing and everything. Because of that, I'm also going to stop recording these and streaming these, or at least I'm going to stop streaming them. And there'll be a lot more just an inner group, just what's happening over here. And I think that's the summary of what's going to happen to Animation Lab. It's going to remain weekly, half an hour after what it's currently scheduled to be. And generally a little bit different in structure. Other than that, we're hoping to make it more or less the same kind of environment, the same kind of creative space where we can all like work together and develop. Now, apologies for me being so quick, but I'm really, really tired and I need to go to sleep. So, I believe that if you have nothing to say, if you have something to say, do feel free to say it now.
Yeah, it's just been a really good time. Saw that question on there.
Definitely.
Any like experiments you've been doing with animation or anything like experimental animation? I'm like thinking, yeah, the entire thing. Like this has been great.
It's great. It is. It really is. And other than that, I'm really glad to have had you all here.
Glad
And
that
I
we
hope
got
you
to meet.
remain. And I hope you remain as we go further and the group changes a little bit and everything. So yeah, thank you for coming. Hope to see you next week. And for legal purposes, do check out Script Camp for the queer writers group and the women's writers group. Lots of interesting stuff happening out there in the other camps. There's also a coding camp for people getting into coding. Interesting stuff if you're in, if that's your vibe. And yeah, I think that's generally a summary of it. So thank you all for coming, and I'll see you